Hello everyone, welcome to Melissa's Musings. So I am talking about judgment today, and I read something really interesting this week that really resonated with me, that we don't really, judgments only hurt from others because we're judging ourselves for those same things. And this came up for me a couple times this week after I read the quote, and then it came up for me yesterday in a dance class. So this week where it's been coming up for me, where I've noticed a lot of judgment, is like around food. So with the health issues that I have, or that I've had, oftentimes when I don't feel well, it's kind of a thought process like, oh, did I do something wrong, or did I eat something I wasn't supposed to? And there's like a little bit of evaluation and judgment there. Like, did you do something you weren't supposed to, Melissa? So like a little bit of self-judgment. And I've noticed that, for example, when John eats an entire sleeve of Oreos, I'll have judgment internally. I won't say anything, of course. Like, that's part of John's life. He eats a lot of Oreos. But I'll think to myself, like, oh, like, he can just eat a whole sleeve of Oreos. Like, I'll have, like, a negative thought, almost like a judgment around the food. And so I recognized that this week. And then I also recognized yesterday, John and I were taking a hip-hop dance class. And I was literally, like, looking at myself in the mirror, right? So, like, it's typical dance studio in the regards to the fact that they've got, like, floor-to-ceiling mirrors in front of you so you can fully see yourself. And actually on all four sides, I think. But basically, you can, like, see yourself as you're dancing. And aside from being like, damn, Melissa, you got great moves. Just kidding. I was, like, thinking, like, what I thought to myself was, I wonder if anybody thinks you're skinny. Like, I wonder if anybody's looking at your dancing and thinks that you look skinny. And I was like, huh, that's an interesting thought. Like, I'm not looking at anybody else in the entire room thinking like, oh, they look overweight, or oh, they look too skinny, or any sort of judgment around their weight. So why would somebody judge me for my weight, right? But because I have the self-consciousness around my weight and how skinny I am, that came up for me. I thought like, oh, I wonder if anybody else is noticing how skinny I look when I'm dancing. And then I was like, huh, that's a weird judgment that I have of myself. And it really became crystal clear to me because I thought of the times in my life where people have called me stupid, for example. Like, you're so stupid. And I'm like, haha, that's funny, because I know I'm not stupid. And I have confidence in the fact that I'm smart and that I have knowledge, right? And that I'm educated. Somebody tells me, like, you're shitty at real estate. I'm like, huh, that's nice. Like, great insult, right? Because I know it's not true. I have a healthy relationship with the fact that I'm a rock star in real estate, with the fact, with different things. However, when I experience judgment for myself and my own weight, I realize that I don't have a healthy relationship with my weight, which I know that I don't. I'm often, there's very little that you can say to me. My skin is so thick. But the one thing that will get me to, come home and feel bummed about myself is a comment about my weight. Whether it be like, when was the last time you ate? Or usually something pretty offensive, where if I was to ask the same thing of someone, for example, who was overweight or who was struggling in a different way, it would be completely inappropriate. So a lot of times I'm like, okay, it's an odd, you know what I mean? It's kind of an odd experience receiving comments or receiving straight up judgments like that. But if it wasn't something that I didn't have self-confidence issues around, I'd be like, that's nice. Like, I know I look like shit, you know what I mean? And I do. I know that I'm a very attractive person. I know that I've got a beautiful smile and I love my eyes and all this stuff. But sometimes I'm self-conscious about my weight just because I've struggled so much with my weight personally. And I know that that's something that a lot of us struggle with, weight especially, whether it be too much or too little, or, having an unhealthy relationship with the scale maybe, or whatever it looks like for us on a personal level. So that really made a big difference this week for me, especially as I've just been reflecting in kind of an observation way for myself. And I encourage you guys to do the same. If you are feeling really judged or experiencing a lot of judgment from the people around you, it might be a really great opportunity to reflect on where you're judging yourself. Because if you weren't judging yourself and feeling self-confidence around those certain aspects, it might just roll off your back. So I encourage you to maybe check that out on your own life. It's something that's been really eye-opening for me this week, just being in observation mode. But I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. I will talk to you soon.